When I was a little girl, my grandparents had a farm with cows on it. And when I would visit, I got to help feed the baby cows their bottles. We did not live near the farm, and I received regular cards in the mail from my grandma updating me on the calves and their antics, along with sharing Bible verses and telling me how much I was loved by God and by her. Sometimes she even wrote as if she was the cows, telling me about their lives. The first time that Mike and I went to the state fair, he was surprised that I wanted to go see all the animals, especially the cows. But I find being around cows is a grounding experience. In later years, my family lived close by my grandmother, and in the field next to the mobile home where we lived, there were horses. Most days after school, I would walk to the field and feed the horses apples and sugar cubes. These experiences with animals were formative ones that shaped the way that I experienced God's creation and sensed God's love. We here at College Park strive to honor the gift of God's creation. We believe that God's grace is present in God's created world. We make efforts to be good stewards of the planet, such as our new solar panels and our creation justice team. And for this church, our pets have always been a big part of our community life. We have families who work with rescue pets and families who foster pets. Who can forget the joy of Carlin and Jesse's baby goats in the children's sermon, or the way that the children have learned not to pet Diana Washburn's service dog, Saffron? We were all in tears when Allison Schwartz shared about the loss of one of her beloved dogs during a focus one Sunday. I frequently see the dogs of College Park in my neighborhood and on Facebook. We as a church have prayed for pets and grieved pets and rejoiced together about new ones. There is no part of our lives that is separate from the presence of God, and of course our relationship with our pets is part of that for us. We believe that creation has a voice that speaks of God, and in that voice we should not forget our animal companions, who require so little and give us so much. Yes, my cat Neville wakes me up at 4 a.m., but he also spoons with Atticus. And he sits with me and lets me pet him to lower my blood pressure. And he interrupts when I am making a particularly brilliant point in my Zoom divinity school classes, just to keep me extra humble. Whether we believe that God created a skunk by saying, let's make a zebra squirrel with farts as weapons, or we imagine God creating snakes happily out of Play-Doh, or we take a more traditional view of the seriousness of the creation story, the animals that are in our lives are part of God's gift to us, and we believe they are worthy of our consideration. In today's scripture, we read that God cares about the fall of the sparrow, but that is not the only time we see animals in the Bible, not by a long shot. In the Psalms, we hear God makes grass grow for the cattle. In Jonah, not only is a fish a crucial part of Jonah's story, but the point is also made that God spared the animals of Nineveh as well. Throughout the Bible, we see the joy of creation, the joy that many of us feel from our pets, highlighted through animals who are often mentioned as frolicking. Here at College Park, we don't take the view that God called us to dominate over the animals, but to live with them and to give and receive joy with them. And we know, both from our own experiences and from the story of Balaam and his donkey, that God speaks to us through animals. Today we bless our pets as a way to give thanks to God for what our pets give us, and as a way to honor God's created world as a gift given to us, and as a way to honor all the animals in our lives, like the cows that ministered to me as a child and taught me about patience. This joyful chaos of Zoom and pets is a way to honor God's activity and presence in all parts of our lives, and to thank God for the ministry we receive from God's good gifts. Our dogs and cats and birds and fish and turtles, and hamsters, and even the snake that Atticus wants for his birthday. Our pets see us and comfort us in all parts of our lives, and God so rightly called them good.